Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Facebook Live with our favorite coach, Grenville, our business planning coach. Hi, Grenville. How are you?
I'm good, Praveen. How are you doing?
I'm great, Grenville. Grenville, today's topic we thought of asking our customers and myself, are we business ready?
Okay.
Just, uh, just give us a brief introduction about what you mean by business ready.
Okay, see, everybody starts a business feeling that they have thought out everything, they have put all the plans in place, and they are prepared to go forward with their business, right? But a lot
Yeah.
of times, people tend to miss the most essential part of things they need to evaluate before they really are ready for business. So, we have a proper system in which people are evaluated on what is the facts that they need to check to make sure that they really are business ready. So we'll go
Okay.
through the different aspects which we should be looking at to really know that we are really ready or not.
Then, to ask you a thing which is in relation with business ready. So, what do you think that when you say people are not understanding what how the business and what are things coming through the business, what is your main common feature which you found in all entrepreneurs and things? What happens when they don't have a plan or they didn't have many things on right? Because what most of the businesses happen is that we go by intuition saying that this will work for me. I know it, I can do it. This is how we go about it. Just give us a fine thoughts on how the intuition, how reality works on that.
See, everybody feels they are ready, right? Nobody gets into business and puts a lot of money in without feeling that they have thought out everything and they have planned everything. But the honest fact is that you cannot think out and you cannot plan everything before you start a business. It's practically impossible to cover every single proper aspect that goes wrong, right? But the primary things that people should be looking for and what they miss ends up in a few things. Okay, one is immediate the product not taking off the way they had planned, right? That is the starting and the crux of the whole business. Is that you visualize some way the product is going to take off, but it doesn't go the way you planned. That is the primary and the most biggest hurdle that falls in front of any new entrepreneur. The second part is going to be cash flow automatically. If you've not really planned your financials well, eventually it will come to a point that you will run into cash flow problems, which is something that you cannot fully anticipate, but something you can plan for. Okay. And the
Okay.
third thing is where that really is more critical than anything else is the manpower. People have everything in place, they have put a plan in place, they have got the product properly identified, but they don't have the required bench strength to really scale up. So that is the challenge that you need to have to address. These three are the major parts that happen if you don't really properly plan your business before you start.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for a clarification, Colonel. Does your checklist for a business ready and what you said is similar, or you have more additional points to that?
No, these are the problems that will come if you are really not ready for business. These are not the checklists that we actually follow. So I'll take you through the five broad aspects that we normally look at to evaluate whether a business is really ready or not. Okay. The first part is your brand management. How well have you planned your brand and how do you plan to project your brand? In the end, what people are going to associate your product or your company with is a specific brand, right? So whether you name
Okay.
your company, where you locate your company, who is your proper customers, your brand needs to speak to all these aspects before you really can go forward and expand and scale it up and make it a successful business. So the first and foremost aspect is brand management and how do you project yourself and brand yourself. Okay.
Okay.
The second is, and of course, the most important is identifying the right niche. Okay, most businesses get the first part. They spend a lot of time in how they're going to promote themselves, marketing activities, promotions, and everything. They spend a lot of time and money. But what they really don't sit down and evaluate is that have I really identified my proper niche? Is my products really targeted at the right audience? Is the customer really the one that I want to address to when I go into a market? This is what
Okay.
everybody looks at and everybody really wants to know before they get into a business, but which they tend to put in the later saying that, yeah, we have a pretty good idea that this is the product we are making, so this product should appeal to the customer. Okay, so the first thing you
Okay.
need to focus down and say is that And you have to really, really drill down to the very minute detail as possible that am I in the right niche and is the product that our services that I'm offering, are they really focused on the right niche or not? But this is going to be the pivotal point about taking your business forward or making your business shut down. And most, as I say, 80% of the businesses that start close in the first year of starting up itself. That is what the statistics
Yes.
tell us. So the biggest crux of the issue is exactly this, is that if people are in the wrong niche or their product or services are targeted at the wrong audience, of course, your business won't take off and you will eventually shut down. Okay. And the third and the most critical of the whole plan is that you have to make sure that you have understood your customer properly. Okay, there are various aspects of the customer that we evaluate. One is their location. Okay, which group do they belong to? Where they're staying? What is the surroundings? What is the logistic challenges that they have? The demand and supply of that customer that will make them come to your product are different aspects of the customer you look at. For example, I've seen a video on TV where there's a certain post office in Lakshadweep where it goes once a month. Okay, and UPS was starting up that business there, and they realized that that was a huge market potential because people cannot deliver things in a day. Okay, so Amazon actually tied up with a local courier that would go by boat every day and deliver goods in 24 hours, and they really captured. It's a small market, but a premium market. So when you're getting into a market, you need to really look at where is your customer, what are the challenges they are facing, and what is going to make your product that more attractive than the competitor product. Okay, so that is understanding your customer as the first place. The second part is what is their mindset? What are they looking for? Okay, one is the customer's challenges of location. The second is what is going to drive them to actually buy your product. Okay, the customers could be sitting in a worse situation, but if they are not the people with the right amount of money to pay for your product, they will never buy it, right? So you have to understand what would be the decision making that they need to do, and would your product fall into that niche to make sure that yes, this product will be in the front of the row of different priorities they have, that they will come and buy your product first. Okay, so this we call as the psychography of the customer, where we look and evaluate how does the customer think, what are his driving forces, what are the social aspects of the customer that drives him to come and buy your product on a consistent basis. Right? Buying it once, everybody will do, but to consistently buy your product that it becomes a growing business and you can scale it up is what you're looking for. So in the customer base, when you look at it, you see that what is the customer locations challenges, what are his mental and his needs that he has. Is it okay so far?
Yeah, it is fine. I just remembered a couple of examples which came into my mind, and both are things are funny. And it can be related to many things. It can be related to our business plan as such. It can be related to thinking capability of it. The first example goes is that in the olden times, one of English company, they sent a salesman to Africa for selling slippers. So this guy went to Africa and he said, all of people are barefooted. There is no possibility of selling slippers. So this guy came back and they sent one more guy who was new and enterprising. So he went there. He said, "Boss, send me 2 containers, 2 shiploads of slippers. Here nobody wears slippers. There's a market wide open." So this again, it depends on like what you said. It depends on how you see the market and how in what aspects you note the market. The second example is still more funnier than this one. Um, there was in India, it happened in India and it happened particularly to Punjab, Ludhiana. So the washing machine company was selling a lot of washing machines to Ludhiana because they have been buying regularly. So, and they came out with some semi-automatic to automatic washing machines. Still, the semi-automatic machine was selling as a peak in the market. So these guys were confused with that market potential. They don't expect so much of sales. So they deputed one of the sales guy to go and see what is happening in Ludhiana, why they are buying so many washing machines. Here in Ludhiana, these people they were making lassis.
With the washing machine.
So they were using the washing machine, the main washer unit, for making lassi because it keeps on churning. So they don't want any physical churning. So they were using his machine, and that's why they were buying only semi-automatic machines. So it was an eye opener for people that washing machine can be used for making lassis. So it is, as you said, the responsibility of the entrepreneur or the person who is into business is how he sees the market and how he adapts to the market.
See, I think you brought a valuable point. I think business is a series of opportunities, right? Now, how well you identify your opportunities and how well you capitalize on them is what makes a business successful, right?
Yes.
As I say, every cloud has a silver lining. Even in the worst of catastrophes, you could always see an opportunity for furthering your business. That is what
Yes.
makes businessmen so successful. They're able to be opportunistic, while opportunistic comes across as a negative word, but actually opportunism is actually one of the best things for business. You need to keep
Yes.
looking and keep modifying and keep adapting so that you don't become extinct. You need to keep on adapting to make sure that you actually are getting there and delivering on your final goals. Okay, you're absolutely
Yes.
right. So moving on. So as I said, the first part is your brand management. Your second part is identifying your niche. Your third part is your customer. And fourth part, of course, is now your product. Okay, when you are designing your
Okay.
product, what I tell all my customers is that you could have a whole bouquet or a whole banquet or laid out of things, but you need to identify what is my most common or the one which I'm going to identify my company with. So there needs to be a primary product, which is the product you identify is going to be representing your organization. Okay, it could be your fastest moving product or it could be your elite product. It can be any of the two. But it's going to be one product that's going to identify yourself. Okay,
Okay.
there are this fashion. I forget the name of the brand, Swarovski, I think, right? Who have these diamonds. They actually
Crystals.
make they actually make mobile phones that they customize them with their diamonds. Okay, they make
Yes.
maybe 10 of those mobile phones that are custom made, handmade with leather and stuff, but with their diamonds on it, and that's sold in millions of dollars as value, right? So there is a product and it's associated with that brand as a premium product. So for them, they want to be associated with luxury and they want their clientele is the top notch people that are there. Okay. There are other brands that I want to be day to day. If you see Parle-G is a good example. They have a huge range of biscuits. But if anybody you ask, at least in India, they know that small Parle-G biscuit packet that we've had since we were kids is what you associate yourself with Parle-G. At least I do, right?
Yes.
So each person decides how to position their company. And while they have a huge range of other products, these products drive customers to come and try out other products when they advertise them. Okay, so you need to have a proper product range, identify your primary product, and every product that you have has to have a strategy behind it. You need to have a design strategy, you need to have a launch strategy, and you have to have a managing the life cycle of that product. And this needs to be done for every single product that you have. Okay, it sounds a
Okay.
lot of work, but that is the only way that you really manage your product life and make sure it delivers the product profitability that you're looking for. Okay, so the fourth aspect is your product and of course your pricing strategy with it. And the last and foremost, and the part that people miss most of the time, is to firmly ground your business in finance. Okay, whoever customer I work with, I make sure that all that we do in the front end, which is the fancy work as I call it, we have a lot of vision, we have a lot of philosophy, we have a lot of wishful thinking, right? All these are very much needed when you are passionate about your business. But all this needs to finally go and get firmly grounded into a financial plan, right? So when we work with customers, we make them lay out a long-term plan, which we call the strategic plan, which is 5 years. We have them make an annual plan, which is for 12 months, and we make them make the first quarter plan, the first 3 months of their operations. This
Okay.
ensures that you're looking at your business on a long term, while you're ensuring that you have the cash flow for the short term, right? You have different challenges with finance at different stages. Initially, it is always a cash flow issue. And as you go further
Yeah.
down the line, it's planning to manage your finance more than a cash flow issue as you go down the line, right? So that's
Yeah.
how you actually take your business forward and make sure it's ready. So to have a business ready to go, you need to have figured out your brand management. You need to have figured out which is your actual niche. You need to have figured out what your customer has and what your customer wants, both from the locale and location they are, as well as from their mental mindset. You need to definitely have a clear-cut product strategy, how the products are going to be designed, manufactured, and are going to be delivered. And finally, of course, you're going to convert all of this into a real feasible business, saying that this business is going to make me X amount of dollars or X amount of rupees per month and per year, on so many period for such a long period of time consistently. Okay, if you are able to really identify and get these right, this is not the end of it. This is just the beginning of it, right? This will tell you that you have covered maybe 70% of making yourself ready for business. The remaining 30% is how you get your process launched, how you actually convert this plan that you've made into a proper implementation plan is what results in the proper business being implemented. But if you cover 70% of the problem for a new business, for example, that really is a very good place to be rather than trying to figure out as you go. You agree?
That is true, Grenville.
Right? So in
Grenville,
our, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so I was saying, as a business consultant, when you go to a customer, this is that even though the customer may be in a hurry to get off, we hold them back and say, wait, spend the time to do this evaluation. Okay, you will sometimes surprise yourself as an entrepreneur that, oh, maybe I should not even go forward now. I'm not ready for my business yet. Okay, so that is how we actually make the customers be aware that how more successful they could be by spending a little more time doing a proper business plan. So that's what I was going to tell you. Go ahead, you had a question.
Yeah, Grenville, it was nice. Actually, we could understand those 5 points. So what my question is that out of these 5 points, which one is as the top priority, or which would be the starting point?
All of them are important, Praveen. If you ask any person which is the top, he will say one of those 5 points, right? But to me, I think the first and foremost is to make sure you are grounding your business in a proper financial plan. Okay, people always tend to put this as a backburner saying we can mobilize funds, we can take more loans, but that is what eventually results in a business being successful or not, is making money, right? So I will
Yeah,
tell any my businessman before you start off, even if you're going to put off your business for a little more longer period of time, ensure that you have secured all your thoughts, whether it is your brand management, whether it is your product or your customer base, because all of those have a cost built to it, right? Even the manpower that you're going to bring in is a cost. So eventually everything boils down to how am I going to run this business profitability or not, right? So to make sure that the business is profitable, you need to have a proper financial plan. So you ask me as a businessman, what do I look at? I look at my balance sheet and I look at my forecasted sales. And I say, this is what determines and tells me that, yes, I'm on the right track to get my business to go forward. So before a person starts, I think he should take all his wishes, his passion, and his needs and convert it into a number that says, this is either the number I'm going to be putting out there, holding it for a longer period of time, like for a year maybe, and then start eventually making profits and arrange his other plans and everything else based on this outlay that he's going to put up. That is what I would
you
advise.
said you would give the financial as the first top priority as such.
I
So
would say
after
top, not first, but top priority, yes.
okay, what comes next to that?
Well, you're asking me to rank these five on a 1 to 5 scale.
Yes, yes,
But
it would be better. So that at least what I was thinking is that if somebody is thinking of starting a new one, or someone who has started new, or because of these COVID situations, people go through a lot of emotions. At least what I thought is that if we could give them some information to ponder and think and come back to you, maybe they can even approach you to get something started out. So what I was trying to everybody to get into a thinking process, I thought if we could give them the priority 1 to 5, so at least they can do some homework and they can approach either you or any other business consultant to understand how to take it forward as such.
okay, if you put it that way, Praveen, the way I said it in the sequence actually is the way you should go. Okay, you
Okay,
start always with your passion and your vision, right? Without passion and vision, no business is successful, correct? So you need to
that
have
is
that
that.
vision and passion for, yeah, you're saying something?
That is true, Grenville. Why I was very particular in asking you the priority, and when you said finance, I do what is say in business terms, I understand it is a top priority, but in logical terms, it is not the top priority. So that is why I wanted you to run down on the priority, because all these 5 points are important. Even at one point of time, I have gone through it, but this financial part goes on a back burner most of the time. It is not only for me, anybody who's running the business now, until it is a family run business, any new entrepreneur who has done job and then starting a business, or somebody who's fresh starting a business will go through with it because the passion drives you so mad that you think that you can turn the world upside down.
You're right. No, I mean, I was just trying to get the question. So, rather than put it on a scale of 1 to 5, because as you said, all the five are important, okay? So, I think the most crucial part of what you're getting into is identifying your niche, okay? To me, that is what would compass almost everything that we're talking about. If you have got your niche properly identified, your product will align, your customers would align, okay, your cost would align, as well as your direction and passion would align, as long as you are clear that this is the niche that I'm going to go and address. So to me, as a priority that you should always look at is to know is, am I getting into the right business or not to start with? That is the first question and the foremost question you need to ask.
That is true, Grenville. That is the most difficult thing to decide. See, if I created a new, what is a latest innovative product and get into the market with the innovative product is fine. But today, if you take on an entrepreneurship, only 10 or 20% is onto a new product development. Balance 80% is churning the existing business through either better pricing or service or any modification to that. That's what they are doing. So
Right.
for the 80% of the business, it is very difficult for them to identify the niche of it. So how do you advise the people to understand the niche when it is a common product which is already available in the market?
Look, when you're getting into even a product that is existing, your point is right, okay? That people are predominantly trying to see other people's success and are trying to enumerate the same success formula and make their business fall in line and make them money. True, okay? But the point here is just this. When I mean niche, I mean within that, you need to have a piece for yourself, right? Whether it's a new product or an existing product, you need to go and know out of the market. It's a $1 million market. You're not going to get $1 million of the market share, right? So whether I get 10% or 20% or 30% is my niche, and I will focus all my strategies, all my product range, all my focus on what I'm going to do on that piece of the business that I'm focusing on. Correct?
Okay.
Right? So
So
that
you
is
you
what
you
is I
mean
mean by niche. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you mean to say the niche is not necessarily the product. It could be your service, it could be an area, it could be anything which is different from which is common, right?
In the end, whatever you do, you have to find your USP, which is unique selling point, right? So if you are going to go with, for example, let's pick a commodity toothpaste,
I,
right?
I'll just interrupt you on it. So
Sure.
you just gave us an example of Lakshadweep, and you
Yes.
said it takes almost 1 month to get a postcard delivered,
Correct.
and you said UPS and Amazon is working through it. So it means that now, if you talk about the niche, we can say that UPS and Amazon found the niche, saying that the postal department doesn't deliver within a month. So that is a niche market for UPS and Amazon to take the business forward, right? Can
Right.
I define it that way?
The niche is not the lack of delivery within a month. The niche is that there was a customer need to have the products before a month. So the
Yeah.
customers who have been living for years receiving things every month, right? So they have always been used to this, right? But there are people who are actually taking about going to the mainland, buying something and coming back, who could not wait, right? So the
Yeah.
point here is that they identified the need. So unless there is a need, you cannot serve the need, right? There has to be a need to drive your service. So what UPS and Amazon have identified is that there are people who are ready to pay a premium. Of course, it's not cheaper than the postal service, right? When you pay for Amazon UPS, you are going to pay a premium. So to pay a premium, what do you get? You get 24-hour delivery of a product, but you need to wait for 30 days after you pay for it when a post, right? It's always for post, you have to pay cash and carry. So for them, they're
Yes.
actually having a credit facility with Amazon that pay on delivery. I'll deliver to you in 1 day's time at your doorstep. You don't need to go to the post office. And I'll pay you, come and deliver to you a product that you can get tomorrow. Both the time
Yeah.
factor as well as the product coming to your doorstep is added value to even the service they are providing that nobody else can provide other than you. Okay. So
Okay.
they have
Why
capitalized on the need.
Yeah, why I was particularly asking you or probing you into this word niche. So if you go to the dictionary and find a niche, it means that you are special or you do something different.
Absolutely.
Okay. So when it comes to business, we always find that already somebody has done something. So as a owner or entrepreneur, we couldn't find that are we creating enough niche to get the market what to say acceptance.
Right. See, again, that's what I meant by an USP. Okay, you have to have a unique selling point which will differentiate you from the competition. Okay, now you can go into a market and get a certain amount of volume of business, right? Any product you take in, some sales you will do, right? But if you want to make it a brand and you want to have a sustainable business and scale it up, that's when you need all the planning and evaluation and foresight that look into a business. And nobody starts a business to sell small quantity and make minimal profit, right? Everybody gets in
Yes.
wanting to make huge profit. So the point about identifying your unique selling point, or as I said, the niche, is that even within the product that is sold in the market, you need to go out there and find out what is missing in the products being sold today. Okay, what do the
Okay.
customer prefer to have, even in the product that is maybe there are four companies providing the same product. Okay, there is for sure something that's missing in one of those products, right? You
That
can
is true. That
capitalize
is
on
true.
that specific aspect. And as you said, it is not a product or a service only. It's an aspect of the product. It's an aspect of the service. Now, business planning, okay? People do planning, correct? What do I do different?
Yes.
I take that process, I organize it, I put it in a proper sequential process so that you don't miss out the things that you should cover before you even invest your money into a business plan, right? If you put your money in and start a business, you will incur losses if you don't properly plan it. That is a given. But people are ready to take that plunge just because they're in a hurry to move forward. Okay, and then they eventually pay more to try and fix this problem as they go. My niche is that I will avoid them losing that money, which could possibly be saved and reinvested into that business. That's what makes my business a unique niche that I'm addressing to.
So it is something like in the movie Matrix. You say either you take the red pill or the blue pill. So you ask them to take the bitter pill.
Well, actually, they don't take any pill; they just jump off the roof. No, I agree. Yes, you're right. It's a choice everybody has, and every business people prefer to do it the way they think they are comfortable with, right? You cannot
Yeah,
take, you guys said they can take the horse to the water, you can't make it drink. So people
that
need
is
to
true.
identify that. As I said, some people learn after they have an issue. Some people who are, of course, the smarter ones try to preempt the issue. So it's just a matter of how much of stomach you have for risk and how much of
Yeah,
gambling you want to do rather than evaluated risk management. That's the difference between
that
risk
is true.
taking and gambling. So that's where the whole crux of my business runs, is to make sure that
Yeah,
people are able
Grenville,
to evaluate the risk. Yeah.
Grenville, I think we are getting into a topic deeper and deeper, and I couldn't notice that the time is running up so fast. So we are crossing our half an hour limit. We are just about to cross our half an hour limit. So my suggestion is that why don't we continue this discussion next week? Because I think I interrupted you halfway through. I didn't allow you to complete the whole
No problem.
session as such. Because this is something the topic itself is saying, are you business ready? And now with government support and so many things happening, with people, a lot of people losing their jobs. So everybody's the easiest or the next thing available is I'm going to start a business. And I think it is a need of the hour that we should ask them to take the bitter pill and understand what they are going through it so that they become successful on that. So what do you suggest? We continue it next week. That would be fine
For
with you,
sure.
right?
We'll actually go a little deeper. We'll take one
Yes.
aspect of the business and talk about it rather than just talking
Yes.
about overall readiness, because that would be again like repetitive, right? So we'll pick one
That is
aspect
true.
and that one aspect we'll talk about next week, if you're okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So, viewers, I think we are coming to the close of the session. Our deep request is that why don't you suggest your points which you need to understand regarding the business readiness, and if you have any specific questions related to a business plan or how to do a business or entrepreneurship, please leave your comments in our leave your comments so that we can take it up this topic next week. Please follow us on our YouTube channel, Coach Grenville Live, and also in FB as well as in YouTube. Grenville, over to you. Closing notes.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you for comparing this whole session. I think you kept me going on my toes all the way. So that's a good sign of somebody who does a good comparing. So thank you for that. And thank you all the viewers that came on live. And thank you all those who are going to see the recording of this video as well. Do keep following us, as Praveen said. Like our Facebook page, as well as you can see the recording on YouTube. Where we have a full-fledged channel on entrepreneur challenges. We'll be back next week, same time. Our good old Praveen and me again addressing another topic about business planning. Thank you. Have a great weekend and a great week ahead as well. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, folks. Bye.